said, I would like to welcome you all and urge you to feel welcome and interact with us, because this is a conversation tonight. We would like to let you know us as SANEWOPA, but also we would like to hear from you as participants in the information session. The agenda for the information session is that you get to understand and know more about SANEWOPA. I know some of you have been seeing us on LinkedIn, following us on our pages, and on various platforms of social media. So we'd like to get into an interface with you and discuss some of the things that you might be interested in. You might have some questions, areas that you need clarification. So that's the reason why we are holding this meeting this evening. I would like to urge you to put down a registration. When you go to the names of the participants, you will find a name called Maria Msadala with a SANEWOPA at the end. You can register to this lady by giving her your name, your email, and your phone number. Like we have said, this is a conversation that we are starting. So we would like to have your contacts so that we know who participated in this meeting. If you have any questions, whether inside the presentations, whilst it's ongoing, you can also similarly present your questions to Miss Maria Sadara SANEWOPA in her inbox. So we would like you to channel your contacts and your questions to Miss Maria Sadara. I would like to establish a few housekeeping rules. As usual, we would like you to mute your mic all the time. Mute your mic all the time and only unmute when you are allowed to speak. You can raise your hand when you have a comment or you would like to speak so that we give you the platform to speak. Please do not interrupt any speaker that is on the podium, whether it is another member just attending the meeting or it is a SANEWOPA team member making a presentation. Finally, I would like to say, always ensure that you are audible enough when you are talking. Those are issues of network, the microphone, and what have you, so that we are able to hear what you are trying to communicate. All right, so why are we having this conversation right now? Why the information session? So like I said, SANEWOPA is a new organization that has just come into the platform in Malawi. We have launched the organization recently, and currently we are reaching out to weekend farmers to bring them on board as members of the company, or in other words, shareholders. So this session will shed more light on SANEWOPA's mission and our approach so that you get to know us, but also give us a platform where we can interact with you participants as potential members of the organization, but also partners if you are coming from an organization that might be interested in SANEWOPA. Our goal is to build awareness, deepen understanding, and bring on board prospective members. So at the end of the presentation, those are the goals we would like to achieve. So I would want you to go on the chat now, direct on the chat, and just type, what are your expectations? What do you, when you were joining this conversation, when you're coming to the information session, what were some of the things that you were expecting? What are you looking forward to achieving in participating this information session? That is very important because it will help us to measure whether this session has met what you were desiring, but also to add in some comments and some content at the end of the presentations so that we meet your expectation. So right now, I am going to introduce to you our first presenter, who is CEO of SANEWOPA. This presenter is going to give us a brief of what SANEWOPA is, what motivated the beginning of SANEWOPA, and what is the reason behind establishment of SANEWOPA. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Gitao Mbure, who will be presenting as I leave the podium. Thank you so much. The floor is yours, Mr. Gitao.
All right. Thank you, Lavmo. Can everyone hear me? Can somebody say something to confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Lavmo, can you put it in presentation mode, please? Put the, we are watching your screen, but just put it in presentation mode so it's bigger. All right, thank you. This is much better. So yes, good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for taking time from your busy schedules to join us as we talk about SANEWOPA, which is a new organization in Malawi, and also a new organization even outside of Malawi. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the background of SANEWOPA, and I'm going to start by discussing what SANEWOPA is, or explaining to you what SANEWOPA is. So there's different ways you can look at SANEWOPA. One way is to understand it as an empowerment platform. And what we mean by this is that it's a platform where weekend farmers or working professionals who working professionals who are engaging in farming as a business can come together and be able to connect with each other, receive capacity building support, and get to link with other stakeholders. So we see those as empowerment services or empowerment activities. So we really see it as a platform that's giving people who haven't had a chance to come together and work together, giving them an opportunity to come and exercise the power of their collective voice, as well as receive capacity building support. We are also a company limited by guarantee. That's what we are registered as in Malawi. So that means that the members of the company, the weekend farmers themselves, so they join SANEWOPA, they become shareholders in quotes, only because company limited by guarantee doesn't really have shares, but the members of the company guarantee the company up to a certain amount. In this case, it's just Malawi Kwacha 100. So they're guaranteeing that if the company was to go out of business and have debts, they would guarantee payment of those debts up to Malawi Kwacha 100, which is really nominal, very minimal amount. So that's the definition of a company limited by guarantee. We are also a social enterprise. That means that we are pursuing a social and environmental mission, but we are doing that, we are using a market approach to provide services and products which we sell, and in so doing be able to support implementation of our mission. We are also a community of practice. The people who come together to join the SANEWOPA platform, weekend farmers, but it's also a platform where we're inviting other stakeholders. It could be universities, it could be private sector companies that are interested in advancing sustainable agripreneurship to come and learn together with us and collaborate with us as we try to promote sustainable agripreneurship in Malawi. And then lastly, we are a network. We are a network of weekend farmers in Malawi, but we are also a network that is going to be Africa-wide. That's the vision. We are starting in Malawi, but the vision is to establish national chapters in different countries in Africa, and by so doing, be able to connect weekend farmers across the continent. Next slide, please. So how did SANEWOPA start? So the idea of SANEWOPA came about when a few of us, we are all agriculture development professionals. We are about 5 of us from different African countries. I myself, I'm from Kenya. We have colleagues from Zimbabwe. We have colleagues from Malawi, but we came together and we've been working in agriculture development for a very long time. But we felt that there was a need, there was a gap, and that gap also presented an opportunity. And the gap that we saw is that for many years, the development sector has focused on smallholder farmers. So if you look at most of the development projects that are focusing on agriculture in Malawi, you will find out that the focus tends to be smallholder farmers. At the same time, there's this growing trend of weekend farmers, of people who are working professionals or business people who work in the formal sector, but part-time, they engage in farming as a business. And that group has been growing in number, and it's a trend in Malawi. It's also a trend in other African countries. It's a trend in Kenya, where I'm from. So this is a growing phenomenon. So even though the development sector has been focusing on smallholder farmers, there's this other trend happening where there is weekend farmers getting into farming as a business. Now, the weekend farmers are different from the smallholder farmers in that the weekend farmers tend to be highly educated people who are working in the formal sector. They tend to be technologically adept. They are also well connected to markets and to stakeholders in different places. So they have high potential for commercial agriculture. Most of them doing agriculture as a business, and a good number of them are looking to grow their farming enterprise so that they can at some point be able to retire and leave their formal sector job, but be able to make enough money from commercial farming that can carry them through their retirement. So this is a group that has really high potential. They're in agriculture for the right reasons. Unfortunately, so far, okay. Sorry, please, yeah, just tell me if my voice for some reason is low. Is it okay now? Okay. Okay, now it sounds like it's okay. All right. So yes, so as I was saying, they have high potential, but what we've observed is that they tend to be overlooked and underserved. So the development sector hasn't really focused on providing the support that weekend farmers would need, or that the medium scale commercial farmers would need in a similar manner that that support has been provided to smallholder farmers. So they tend to be underserved in terms of the services targeting this particular group. We also know that agriculture is growing and will continue to grow as Africa develops. This is a continent that has a growing population. It's urbanizing and the middle class is growing. So demand for food will continue to grow as well. So we see lots of potential, lots of opportunities in agriculture as a business. So we started SANEWOPA because we believe that the future of agriculture in Africa will depend on the success of medium-scale farms. We have the large-scale commercial farms, we have the smallholders. What we haven't really been able to do is to develop this, what they call the missing middle, which is the medium-scale commercial farms. And this is a category where weekend farmers who are doing farming as a business fall. Next slide, please. Okay, so why does SANEWOPA exist? We've talked about the rise of weekend farmers and medium-scale commercial farming. So that is an impetus for SANEWOPA's formation. We've also talked about the lack of mechanisms to support weekend farmers and medium-scale farmers. Talked about the way the development sector hasn't really provided the support that this segment needs to continue growing. We also know that because of their potential, weekend farmers are really important. We know that medium-scale farmers are important to the economy of the country. They tend to diversify more, they tend to be resilient. So they are an important segment of the farming community in Malawi. We also know that a lot of weekend farmers gotten into farming to make money. At the same time, farming is risky, and with climate change, it's becoming even more difficult. So there is a need to center sustainability, and that's why we are really focusing on promoting sustainable agripreneurship. We also see an opportunity for weekend farmers to network in country and across Africa, as I had alluded before. Next slide, please. I'm not going to go through this list, but as some of the participants today are weekend farmers, I think you can kind of glance through this. It spells out the challenges that we find weekend farmers are experiencing. So we said how they have a lot of potential because of their education levels, because they are technologically adept, and also because they are connected. But that doesn't mean that farming is easy for them. Most weekend farmers don't have years and years of experience in commercial farming. We know that weekend farming itself can be difficult because you have your day job and at the same time you're running, you're a part-time farmer, and most of the times your farm is actually out there somewhere. And so managing that remotely tends to be difficult. There's the issue of farm managers with limited competency, sometimes untrustworthy personnel. So there's a list of challenges that weekend farmers are facing. When you look through this, I'm sure you can identify something that you can relate with. But these challenges are the reason why SANEWOPA exists. Our goal is to help weekend farmers be able to overcome these kind of challenges. Next slide, please. So our solution for helping weekend farmers address and overcome those challenges that we've just reviewed is by providing services across 5 areas. So number one, we are establishing a networking platform through which weekend farmers can connect with their peers. This would help them build social capital. It would create opportunities for them to collaborate. And it would also create opportunities for weekend farmers to learn from each other. Also find inspiration. Weekend farming is difficult in itself. Farming is risky. So sometimes you're in it, you're not sure whether it was the right decision. And by being able to connect with other farmers, you can find inspiration to keep going. We also want to build the capacity of weekend farmers in sustainable agripreneurship, and the focus around sustainable agripreneurship is to help weekend farmers optimize economic, environmental, and social sustainability dimensions of farming. So we really want to make sure that there's a careful balance between the economic, the environmental, and the social sustainability aspects of farming. Then there's facilitating linkages with key stakeholders, including private sector, government, NGOs, other providers of essential services. Once there's a platform where weekend farmers come together, it becomes much more efficient for stakeholders to engage with them. And then there's a lot that's not known about weekend farmers. It's a trend that's been happening maybe in the last 5-10 years. It's a trend that continues to grow, but there's need for research to strengthen the evidence on what are the factors that determine the success of weekend farming, what is the impact of weekend farming on economic growth, on food security. So there's a lot we need to discover about this particular trend. And by so doing, we'd be able to have evidence to influence policy and also maybe influence some of the practices that we see. So there's opportunity to work together with weekend farmers to improve advocacy and engagement with government, especially on issues like climate change. I believe this brings me to the end of my part. So I'm going to hand over the presentation now to my colleague, Mr. Adrian Semba. So Adrian will take us through how SANEWOPA works. Adrian, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gitao, for a good presentation, and Lovmo for opening the floor. I hope people can hear me. My name is Adrian Semba, and I would like to discuss how SANEWOPA works. So, in its desire to bring weekend farmers together, SANEWOPA will end up creating a community, what we call the network or the platform. And within this platform, members will capitalize on the economies of scale. And to do this, we have reached out to some of you present here in the meeting through phones. Some we have interacted through emails. We are very thankful for you attending to the meeting, and we ask you to feel welcome. You are literally at home. So the members constituting the network will be in some way the stakeholders, meaning that they own the company and they bear responsibility to influence the mission and the direction of the organization. SANEWOPA will then therefore become an empowerment platform, just like the way it has been talked about, for all those weekend farmers who aspire to become the successful commercial farmers. Now, members will have to pay a one-off fee, which is going to be for membership to echo their existence in the network itself, and from this, they will have to get 2 coaching sessions and 1 farm visit in a month. The focus basically is on the economic, environmental and social sustainability, of course. And the members will get also access to other services of which we are going to facilitate of networking and of course facilitating of linkages. We expect that the members will also participate in research and advocacy. If I can have another slide, please. So the membership fees that will be collected will be leveraged, of course, thereby leading into a multiplier effect in the benefit through what we will have in terms of the sale of premium services. It could be the grant money that we can possess. It could be donations as well. What this means basically is, for example, if when SANEWOPA provides premium services, and which it will have as a means to generate revenues, members within the SANEWOPA will get a discount while non-members will pay in full market value. So that brings in the distinction between when you are a member and of SANEWOPA, or you are just a weekend farmer but would want to access services, premium services that SANEWOPA will be providing. The premium services will Sorry, but maybe just to talk about what we can do with the premium services profits that we can make. These going to be realized and will be channeled back into advancing the mission of SANEWOPA. Premium services will include advisory services, of course, facilitation to improve access to finance. There'll be issues to do with carbon credit market. We will also have financial management systems, do market research, etc. If I can also have the following slide. So I want to now talk about what the benefits say. I'm very sure that people have already taken one or two benefits already home, but I just wanted to put them in some sort of a summary. So what are some of the benefits that you can get as a weekend farmer? We can categorize them into three. One involving the improved accessibility of resources to do with the management of the acquired resources that we will say we have accessed. And finally, three, the one that has to do with the environmental and social sustainability. In the first one, improved access, the farmers will improve in capital financing, and that other production services. They will also develop competences in the technicalities of production and value chain development. We can do all of this within the context of lessons that we can get and will be provided within farm business management, natural resources management, human resources management itself. There will also be components of production. So where we are going to have good agricultural practices within the crops and livestock value chains. On the management of resources, there is a whole lot now list of the benefits talking about the long-term reduction of input expenditures, optimization of profits, and what we have, improved productivity, improved better informed decision making. This can come from, say, good record keeping that we can help each other improve on, and improved cost management. So the last one, being the environmental and social sustainability, we are sure that weekend farmers and their farm businesses will be more resilient towards climate change related impacts. For example, when they adopt regenerative agriculture, these are some of the principles that we'll bring along in the lessons when we are helping each other on how we can improve our production systems. But also we are looking at improved relations with the communities. So this is tackling the social component of our operations, not to forget about improved well-being of the workforce that we are working with within also the social component of sustainability. So reaching that end, I will quickly ask my other colleague, Vitumbiko Pili, to take us through now the process of joining. What does it take to join SANEWOPA and become a member? So over to you, Vitumbiko. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Okay, as he has already said, my name is Vitumbiko Pili, and I'm going to take you through the process of joining SANEWOPA, whereby we are going to go through the membership criteria, the process of joining, as well as the responsibilities of the members. Okay, so on the membership criteria, as SANEWOPA, we are looking for the people who are weekend farmers, or they are farmers who are just transitioning into full-time farming, or they are aspiring to become full-time farmers. They haven't really gone much into farming. They are the people that we're looking for. And they should also be willing to demonstrate serious interest in growing their farming enterprise. Sometimes people just join farming because it is something that everyone is doing. They have the land, they have some of the resources, but they really don't know how to grow it, and they are not really serious about growing it. So the kind of people that we're looking for are those that have an interest in growing their farming enterprise. And they should also be willing to subscribe to SANEWOPA's sustainable agripreneurship principles and willing to abide by the member responsibilities. As already said, SANEWOPA is a company whereby the members are the owners, so they have responsibilities that they have to fulfill. Next slide, please. Talking of sustainable agripreneurship principles, there are 3 pillars that we are, as SANEWOPA, we are looking at. The first is environmental sustainability. SANEWOPA is encouraging sustainable agripreneurship that prioritizes the protection of the environment, that is through climate-smart agricultural practices and regenerative agriculture. And the other pillar, which is also important, is economic sustainability, whereby the weekend farmers should practice sustainable agripreneurship that is profitable. And this is going to be achieved by the knowledge, skills, and tools that the weekend farmers are going to get through SANEWOPA, through the one-on-one coaching and the capacity building that SANEWOPA offers. They need to manage their farming as a business, because most times we take farming as something that we are doing as a side hustle, and therefore we do not really pay much attention into running farming as a business. We just run it as something that we are supposed to do. Another pillar that is where SANEWOPA is building its mandate is on social sustainability, whereby we want farming that has a positive impact to the individuals and the society well-being, whereby this includes a conducive environment for agricultural workers, looking after the welfare of those involved in the agricultural work, the laborers, issues to do with gender equity, inclusiveness, whereby now no one is left behind, and including the youth, as well as building social cohesion between the agripreneurs and the communities where they farm. Next slide. So, as the process of joining, SANEWOPA has 2 enrollment periods which run from the 1st of October each year to 30th November, whereby applicants can submit their completed application forms, and the other enrollment period runs from the 1st of April to the 31st of May. After an applicant has submitted their application form, the application form can be obtained from the SANEWOPA website, which is www.sanewopa.malawi.org. On the Engage with Us tab, there is an application form which can be downloaded and a person can fill and submit. Or even on the homepage, there's also a tab which says you can click here to join. It will also take you to the form which the applicant has to fill. After the application form has been filled, the purpose of the application form is to get full information about the applicant. They are just to get a conversation started with the applicants, having conversations to see where the applicants really want to see themselves and everything that may be, just for an initial assessment. This process takes approximately a week after a person has submitted their application form. Within a week, they're going to receive an email confirming that their application has been submitted successfully. And then comes the onboarding, whereby the application form is reviewed. And after review, the person is approved. And the whole process takes approximately 2 weeks. After approval, the members are required to pay a one-time joining fee of 100,000 Malawi kwacha, and it has to be paid within the first 2 weeks of approval, or they can, after that, they have to pay the annual or monthly subscription fee. So for the joining fee, which is, for instance, if an applicant applies between October and November, they can pay the application fee the first 2 weeks of December, and they can start paying their monthly subscription fee in January. And if they have applied and enrolled in April to May, they pay their subscription, the joining fee in June, the first 2 weeks of June, and their monthly membership fee begins from July, the 1st of July. So if a person pays an annual fee, the fee is 600,000, but then they get a 10% discount, whereby they're going to pay 540,000 per year or 45,000 per month. And if they decide to pay their subscription fee quarterly, they get a 5% discount, which translates to 570,000 per year or 142,500 per quarter. Next slide, please. So, as we've already said, that SANEWOPA is a company for the people, whereby the members are the owners of the company. They have the rights and responsibilities. Some of the rights and responsibilities that the members have are commitment to the company bylaws, whereby all members are supposed to abide by the company bylaws, rules, regulations, and requirements. And they must also have their names listed down in the membership for membership. They are also required to pay the annual or monthly subscription fee, so that they should maintain their active membership and also enjoy the services which SANEWOPA, and enjoy everything that SANEWOPA is offering. And they are also required to attend annual general meetings, exercise the right to vote at AGMs, and electing of board members. As we said, that it is a company for the members. This is where the members will now get to voice out everything that they want to say. They are going to be, this is a platform whereby they are going to have discussions, and they will be able to help with governance of the organization. Being able to elect members of the board, it means that they are empowered and that they have a say in the operations of the organization. The rights and responsibilities are also on our website. We have also another, there is a page on our website whereby the member rights and responsibilities are well detailed. And if a member is interested, they can go to the website whereby they engage with us, where there is the application form. Just right below is where there's also the member rights and responsibilities. Thank you so much.
All right. A very big thank you to our presenters. You have done a very good job, and we are doing well on time. So, like we said, I communicated that this is an engagement. We would like to hear from you, but also in the form of questions, but also in the form of comments, your view, areas where you need clarification, and anything that you feel should be included in the conversation. I will urge you to feel free and interact with us. We are here because we would like to engage with you, and you are here because you would like to engage with us. So right now, I am going to open the floor to questions and comments. If you submitted your questions to Maria Msadala, Maria will be the one to read out your questions, and then I'll be able to direct the question to the right person to tackle it based on the presentations that were made. Or if I am in a position to respond to them, I will be able to respond to them. So, Maria, do we have any questions that have been submitted to you?
Hello. No, I don't have any questions. Already taken note of the expectations that people had for this session. So some have been answered, some have not been answered. So if we can go through the expectations, then I think it can be well to start with that when people are preparing.
Okay, then we can start with the expectations. What are some of the expectations that haven't been met?
Maria, are you giving us the expectations that haven't been met?
All right. There's a need for clarification of the benefits of training SANEWOPA. So can you please come back on that?
Lavmo, did you get that?
Okay. Otherwise, while we are waiting for the slide. I spoke about a number of categories within the benefit that a member gets when they join. There are particular services that we will be working with the farmers, but when it comes to the impact of getting all of the services that we are providing within the context of networking, within the context of linkages, capacity building, the advocacy that we will be involved in doing, and then the research that we will also be doing. We believe that within all of those practices, there is going to be the benefits that are associated with improved access to resources. When we come to your farm, to the discussions and interface with you as a wicked farmer, of course, we are going to, after getting engaged with you, do an assessment of how the operations are going on. We are going to, of course, as I'm just extending with the processes to help me to explain what you get by working with us. So within that kind of a context, you will be we are going to run through a baseline, of course, to establish the position of your business performance in the beginning, assessing where you are before, and then we can discuss between yourself and us based on where you want to take your business to. So we are all talking about commercialization, but exactly what is it that you want to achieve within your business enterprise? Is it what are your values? What is it? What is your mission? How do you envision your business getting to? And then we'll be there to assisting you to get to that kind of a place. And how are we going to do that? We are going to bring in the access now within the different parameters of the services that we're providing, tailored to you. As we said, we are going to have a coach that is going to be attached to you, who can visit you, and whether it's in your office, and you can take each other to the farm that we mentioned once in a month, but maybe we are allocating 2 coaching sessions that are a total of 90 minutes each, to just have a discussion on how to make improvements within the context of how do we develop your business. So within all of that, we believe that we are going to, depending on what your needs are on the farm, you will definitely get one or all of the ones that I'm going to list now, which is improved access to resources. We'll come in with our ideas on how you can, for example, get financing if financing is your problem, but we just don't get financing. There are a number of other aspects that we are going to look at within the context of a business development, which is, say, for example, I would say development of a business plan. It can be, say, if you feel like you need a market research within a business plan, that is some other things that we can suggest, and all of that will have to help with the financing. There are also other products within the financing aspect arena that we can also bring in there. We believe that we can bring in the competences in the technicalities of production systems and the value chain development. We are sure that when we are bringing in all of the lessons within the business management aspects, the natural resources management, the human resources management, there are benefits that you can get by the end of the day. I talked also about the improved resource management itself. So we are looking at a number of aspects which are the benefits in the long-term reduction of inputs. We have spoken about environmental and social sustainability, of course, but how is it if we are going to advocate for regenerative agriculture? How does it really assist you? We believe that there are benefits within all of that context where a lot of costs will be reduced. So all of these are some of the areas that we can tackle, but we start with an assessment. We come to your farm and see what sort of a need you have. So it is a discussion that we are going to have with you to assess the entire operation and see where the gaps are. There are other areas that you are experts, but there are other areas that who identify to need some assistance. So all of this, when we bring in the good agricultural practices, for example, because we also have other, as I spoke within another presentation that I did to talk about the premium services that we are also providing. We are going to say, if you have an overall management problem at your farm, we can suggest to say maybe you need a farm manager, but how are you going to access a farm manager? There are ways that you will benefit as a weekend farmer, because you are part of the farmers. You will get discounts from the services that are already provided by others, but because you are a member and you have made your contributions, you can leverage, we will leverage on the contributions that you've made and assist you to get discounts that cannot be compared to the market value of the same kind of services. It can be anything. We talked about membership to be driving force for the organization. So you will be deciding to say, but I think the kind of resources or that we are, or gaps that we are experiencing within the sector of transportation, is it possible that we can organize an umbrella that can look at transportation, and then we can all of those ideas that are going to be there, we will have a starting point, but all of the ideas that you can bring in that are aligned to the gaps that you are facing are what we are going to be solving. So it just in brief, access to the resources, the competencies that are going to come within the lessons that will bring in the natural resource management, the human resources, the networking, We believe all of those are what are needed. On the climate change, of course, we are all facing all of these, but we will come with the principles within the regenerative principles of agriculture. There are technicalities that will bring and you will definitely benefit. On a social sustainability and the social component of running of a is a gap with we can help you with how you can relate with the communities, how you can be innovative on how to capitalize on their presence. It could be the workforce, it can be anything. So I hope I have touched parts of the questions, but I'm ready to be assisted by my colleagues, or if there's any need for clarification further, I'll be I'm here to respond to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I would just like to echo out that SANEWOPA is focusing on sustainable agripreneurship. We understand the notion of agripreneurship is out there, but the sustainability element is what is lacking. And sustainability simply means the long-term vision of whatever you're doing. So it can only be achieved if you have systems that are running and operational and strong, that can take on for a while, even when you are not the one handling the farming. So we believe that one of the greatest benefits of joining SANEWOPA is that element of being assisted in developing financial management systems, environmental management systems, and social relations management systems. So as you can see that if your financial management systems are developed, you easily access, you become bankable, you easily access financing. So that's the reason why we are working together with the banking sector to organize the weekend farmers and make them bankable using the regulations of the banks. So they are helping us to say, this is what the banks need from a weekend farmer for them to access financing. So when we come to you, we are helping you to develop those systems that will make you a potential individual that can access financing from the bank. Additionally, right now, there's so much that's happening environmental-wise. And you can bear with me that issues of organic farming are being promoted everywhere just because the impact of climate change is just too much on the planet. We have experienced the heat waves and everything. So at the moment, there's a lot of resources that are coming in to inspire people to access financing just because they are practicing environmental sustainability. So we're coming in to help you develop these environmental management systems that can help you become attractive out there so that you are able to, we talked about carbon credit marketing. Those are some of the issues that you can take advantage of and expand your revenue streams. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is that the cost of social and sustainability is just too much. I'll give you an example. As a weekend farmer, if your relationship with the community is not good, it means these people are going to be stealing from you, which is one of the biggest challenges that most weekend farmers are facing. I, for one, I am a weekend farmer, and this was one of the biggest challenges that I was facing. When I recruit people from that community, they come and then they show their relatives how they can steal from the farm, and they successfully do that. Why? Because my relationship with that community is not good. At the end of the day, another thing that is also hindering a lot of progress in weekend farming is neglecting the well-being of the laborers, the workforce. At the end of the day, these people are not productive enough to help you increase your productivity. But also we have issues of people coming to work with you for a while and then they drop out, and you go again to look for other people and then they drop out. At the end of the day, your progress is very limited. So we're saying if we come and help you build systems of social sustainability, you will be able to have good relationships with these communities, but also with your workforce. At the end of the day, your productivity is going to improve. I hope I have tackled a couple of areas on top of what my colleague said. Maria, you can come in and echo out if there is any other question that is on the comments. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have two of them are related, so I'll ask them at the same time. The first one is, if farmers have become members, what are the benefits in terms of farm inputs and product marketing? And also there's also another one that says, do members have access to two-wheel or four-wheel tractors, either from other members or rental facilities, which is similar with another product, like from the earlier question that said, are there also some labor control things like mechanization? So I think you can talk on that, on the benefits in terms of farm inputs and product marketing, and on mechanization. How are the members going to access that? Is it through the rental facilities or other members? Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna tackle it from one angle. We are saying if a farmer becomes a member of SANEWOPA, they are going to drive the decisions that are made in the company. So if there are other areas that are needing support in their farming, they will be able to sit down with fellow members and discuss and say, what if we also arrange that we get support in this area? That can be presented approved. That will be translated into an area of distance from the platform. So if there are issues of accessing inputs and mechanization that needs to be tackled, that is a welcome idea. And that is the reason why we say we are engaging in a conversation with you and empowering you so that we are able to move together in the operation. Additionally, I would like to say that we are creating an organized community of weekend farmers, which has never existed before. You will find cooperatives of smallholder farmers. You will find associations and clubs, but you will never hear about a cooperative of weekend farmers or medium-scale farmers. These people have been working in isolation, everybody working individually. At the end of the day, it has been so difficult to access things like inputs to leverage on mechanization. So we are saying when we become organized, it will be that provides input funding. Can you come? We have these farmers that are doing this, this, and that. Can you come and help these farmers access inputs? If we're talking about tractors, if we're talking about greenhouses, if we're talking about whatever we can imagine, if we are organized as SANEWOPA, it will be easier for us to access those inputs than to work in isolation. You bear with me that at the moment, if you want to get a tractor to help at your farm, it's going to take ages because there's no organization and the demand for tractors is just too much. But if there is organization, it is always easy to access inputs, resources, and financing. Thank you so much. I've seen a hand from
There's also some questions on the chat that haven't been addressed. Lavmo, are you there? You see the questions on the chat?